Two Rivers. Alaska was Trapper Marty's home. With his trapping snowmobile's engine destroyed, he rushed back. Perhaps his wife and children gave him courage. He made his final decision. Purchase a new snowmobile. Return to Revelation Mountain trapping. A massive expense. Air transport fees would also cost heavily. His small plane couldn't haul such heavy cargo. Sequential transport was too slow. Only 5 trapping weeks remained. He needed the most cost-effective method. To resume trapping swiftly, Marty made a bold choice. Ride the snowmobile to Revelation Mountain, saving transport costs and catching up. The sole drawback was extreme danger. Working Alaska's wilderness for 32 years, he'd never ridden a snowmobile to trapping grounds. Reaching Revelation Mountains totaled over 560 kilometers. Traversing perilous Alaskan mountain ranges, crossing unfamiliar terrain, would take 3 days minimum. Unpredictable mountain conditions meant this journey involved immense risk. For Marty, these risks were worthwhile. Everything he did supported his family. Packing his gear, he bid farewell to wife and daughter, mounted the snowmobile for a new journey. First came 80 kilometers of plains, then entry into rugged Alaskan mountains. Open plains allowed rapid snowmobile progress. Before dusk, he cleared the plains in roughly 2 hours, entering Alaskan mountain territory. Terrain turned rough. Progress slowed drastically. On a small slope, he faced his first setback. The sled hitch broke during ascent. Luckily, he carried one spare, but just one. Another failure meant disaster. Darkness gathered. As Marty reached the foothills, he needed a campsite. For temporary rest, winter's north winds made northern slopes 6 to 7 degrees colder than southern faces. Marty aimed for southern slopes. For his camp, the path proved treacherous, navigating numerous rugged trails, especially near vertical inclines. He proceeded cautiously, protecting his last hitch. Despite hazards, no disasters occurred. After extensive mountain travel, he reached the southern exterior, finally seeking rest. After overnight rest, Marty resumed at dawn. The new snowmobile boasted powerful horsepower, 2 hours on plain trails, covered over 60 kilometers. Snow depth and temperature felt optimal. Everything proceeded smoothly. A fork lay ahead. One path led to Dalsey Canyon. Reportedly plagued by ominous rumors, Marty chose the alternate route. Buffalo Valley. Dense spruce forests filled Buffalo Valley, meaning travel speeds would decrease further. Shortly entering Buffalo Valley, Marty noticed abnormalities. Recent wildfire scars appeared. Wildfires sometimes represent nature's cycle, inevitable rebirth processes. Flames consumed dead plants, enriching the soil for new forest growth. But wildfires don't just burn dead trees. They incinerate all vegetation, leaving this forest shadeless, without canopy protection. Snow melted rapidly, until vanishing completely. Without snow, the snowmobile couldn't advance. Where would Marty go then? Buffalo Valley in the Alaska Range. Fur trapper. Marty was traveling urgently. He needed to return quickly to the trapping area, utilizing the final weeks of the trapping season to catch more game and increase his earnings. Due to wildfire in Buffalo Valley, trees were burned to bare trunks, indirectly causing snowmelt. Without snow, the snowmobile couldn't operate. How would he traverse the remaining 40 kilometers? He faced 2 choices: turn back and take Dalsey Canyon instead. But it was notoriously dangerous and required backtracking. He immediately dismissed that option. The alternative was to continue forward, but the risks were obvious. If snow conditions ahead were normal, that would be fine. If similar to here, turning back to detour would become nearly impossible. After careful consideration, he ultimately chose the latter, taking a gamble, betting everything on success. However, his luck was poor this time. The further he advanced, the less snow there was. After traveling some distance, lacking snow for cooling, the snowmobile began overheating. Continuing would risk damaging the machine. To counter this, He packed scarce snow onto the radiator, advancing through sheer persistence, repeating this operation. At intervals, watching such a new snowmobile endure this would pain anyone deeply. Marty too felt heartache. But realistically, no alternatives existed currently. Progressing further revealed even less snow. Regret began setting in. Knowing now, the other route seemed preferable. He told himself, if conditions worsened ahead, he would turn back. Yet human nature inherently harbors gambler psychology. In such situations, most would think, rather than backtrack 20+ kilometers, better to gamble. Conditions might improve soon. This very mindset deepens entrapment until despair reveals no return remains. Fortunately, Marty's luck held. His gamble paid off. At near despair's brink, fortune finally turned. He successfully reached snow-covered terrain, having traversed over 40 kilometers of Buffalo Valley. Next, he would enter true wilderness. With no existing trails, he must blaze his own path. This place Marty called the Mouth of Hell. Its hazardous mountains stretched over 30 kilometers. Gateway to the Revelation Mountains. Marty always dreaded this route, avoiding it unless absolutely necessary. Over the past 3 days, he had covered 480 kilometers. This was his final obstacle to Revelation Mountain. The Mouth of Hell bristled with danger. Overlapping ridges reduced visibility, sometimes below 200 meters. Precipitous cliffs were everywhere. This was the journey's hardest segment. And Marty's greatest concern? No path lay ahead. He must descend this slope to continue through the valley below. Slope length, approximately 60 meters. Incline exceeding 45 degrees. During descent, the snowmobile would slide weightlessly, steering and braking, failing. Marty had to scout thoroughly. Hitting rocks could destroy the machine. For safety, he detached the sled, moved it downhill first. Then Marty and the snowmobile, descending steep slopes, caused steering, braking failure. Marty could only coast with momentum. He dared not brake, using full body strength to control direction. After jolting down the slope, he reached the base unharmed. Now traversing the valley floor would lead to Revelation Mountain. Just as success seemed imminent, an ice river blocked his path. Snow-covered river channels formed mazes. Wide sections had dangerously swift currents, too rapid to freeze. Water temperature could prove fatal in minutes. Falling into such currents offered near-zero survival chance. Marty considered 2 options. First, find a detour around the river. But surveying riverside woods prompted immediate rejection. Clearing a path alone might require a full day. Trapping season was short. He couldn't waste precious time. Thus, only the second option remained. His plan: find an ice bridge. Snowmobile plus sled exceeded 300 kilograms. Finding sturdy ice proved difficult. He compromised, locating passable-looking ice amid riverside thickets. Whether safe passage existed, he couldn't know. Fortune favors the bold. Crossing here would save a vital day. He cleared shoreline brush with a chainsaw. This short trail under 200 meters required hugging the riverbank, demanding full clearance. Slippery ice hampered work. Cut branches were moved waterside for thorough ice inspection. After preparations, the final crossing began. Removing the sled to reduce weight, he drove the snowmobile alone. Extreme danger marked this passage. Any slip could plunge vehicle and rider into unrecoverable depths. Somehow the snowmobile crossed safely. Only the sled remained. Sled cargo weighed over 90 kilograms. To prevent river loss, he hauled supplies piecemeal. With both machine and sled secure, his cabin should lie ahead. This journey proved Marty's courage and the snowmobile's capability. Powerful, yet fuel-efficient. Detours extended the trip unexpectedly. At his cabin, Marty checked the odometer. Exactly 600 kilometers. Starting tomorrow, Marty would reactivate neglected trap lines. He needed income to offset this season's high costs. After resting overnight, Marty returned to trapping grounds across the river. Trapping resumed normally. Snowmobile support boosted. Earnings dramatically again. But only 2 trapping weeks remained. His turnaround depended on subsequent luck. Beyond daily trapping, Marty retrieved the damaged snowmobile for home repair, planning to keep it as a backup unit. 2 fleeting weeks passed. At Mount Hesperus's foothills, he harvested abundant pine marten. These earnings couldn't fully cover seasonal expenses, yet he now possessed 2 base camps, 4 established trap lines, 1 airplane, plus 3 snowmobiles. With such investments, Marty should reap corresponding returns. Next season, Trapper Tom welcomed a new winter in Yak Valley. Last season's hunting results were dismal. If not for his brother Jack's generous help, the elderly couple might have gone hungry. This trapping season brought no improvement. 2 weeks into the season, he remained in last year's slump. Today, he trekked to a remote spot to trap beavers. With no roads, he hauled his sled 8 kilometers through snow. To reach the destination, a considerable challenge for an older man. Last season yielded plentiful beavers here. But this season, after 2 weeks of repeated trips, he caught nothing. Tom relied on this livelihood. Without prey, the couple's survival faced uncertainty. To counter early winter setbacks, he expanded his trapping range. Only sustained income could ensure stable living conditions. Today, he explored uncharted territory. A skilled beaver trapper, he could spot presence instantly, finding no traces here. Tom continued downstream. Identifying beaver habitats required observing distinct tracks in snow where beavers moved ashore, gnawed trees, branches on banks, dams built across streams, all key indicators. Additionally, beavers sometimes bit off branches, dragged them underwater to eat bark, leaving smooth sticks, which precisely helped Tom locate them. After checking multiple sites, he finally found trap-worthy locations. The first trap of the day differed from usual. He used an iron fence, with a hole cut in the center, bait and traps set at this opening. Beavers eating bait or passing through would get caught, placed at a narrow water channel. It blocked the flow, preventing beavers from bypassing sides, forcing them through the trapped opening, secured with a support frame, completing the setup. In one day, Tom set 4 traps. For the final trap, he employed extra strategy. Scooping riverbed mud onto the bank, he placed castoreum atop it. Castoreum, a pair of beaver glands. Among the 4 major animal-derived fragrances, cheapest, Tom processed it into bait. Typically, beavers mark territory with gland secretions, rubbing scent to declare, "This land belongs to me." Per Tom's method, castoreum scent would fool resident beavers into sensing rival intrusion, likely prompting investigation and potential capture. After setting traps, Tom retraced his route. Such distance tested physical limits. Remarkable endurance for his age. Wading through bushes, crossing woodlands. He finally reached his vehicle, drenched in sweat and breathless. He needed home before dark. To spare Nancy worry, after overnight rest, Tom returned to check the 4 traps. This route saw 8 trips this season, still yielding 0 income. Approaching the first trap hopefully, footprints made Tom's heart sink. Not animal tracks, human footprints. Why would anyone come here? Puzzled, Tom followed the prints, discovering their source at the riverbank. Another trapper had set beaver traps here, with beavers already scarce. This new competitor threatened Tom's chances. Moreover, that morning, the rival checked traps before Tom. Through subtle clues, Tom realized someone else trapped these waters earlier, overlooked yesterday. His lack of success, likely tied to this competition. Checking remaining traps. All empty. Outmatched. Tom retrieved all traps and departed, urgently needing alternative income to survive the long winter ahead. Hunting is humanity's most primal instinct. With modern societal progress, this survival method has nearly vanished. But in nations rich with wild resources, legal hunting grounds still operate. Within these areas, dwell a small number of full-time hunters. They depend on the mountains to survive. Uncle Tom is one of them. Since last year, his luck has been poor. This year worsened. Trapping season began weeks ago, yet he had no catches. Continuing this way would leave them unable to meet winter expenses. But the elderly couple wouldn't starve. Northwest winds were plentiful in Montana winters. Today he rode his snowmobile, nearly 50 kilometers to set traps. This route was pioneered last year, with decent earnings then, so he reactivated it now. Dozens of kilometers of mountain trails lay buried under thick snow, debris hidden beneath. Coupled with Tom's urgency, he hit a wooden stump dead on. The snowmobile jammed in place, immobilized. Misfortune never comes alone, yet facing adversity defined these mountain toughs. Such minor trouble couldn't defeat old Tom. The stump trapping his sled was rotten. He took out his axe, gradually clearing the debris, finally resuming travel. This delay cost him an hour. To regain time, he increased snowmobile speed. Today's plan: set 8 traps. Before setting traps, animal tracks must be found. But searching for miles revealed no pine marten footprints. Tom refused to quit, continuing his hunt. This search spanned over 10 kilometers. Perseverance paid off. He found the first trap-worthy spot, discovering a small pine marten group nearby. All 8 traps would be placed in this area. Tom hoped to catch these martens, even just 1 or 2, preparing bait first. He nailed traps to trees, then ignited rotten, hairy deer hide with a lighter, using the pungent smoke to lure nearby pine martens. Approaching and climbing the setups would make them Tom's prey. Completing these traps, dusk approached. Time for home. Tom worked tirelessly for tomorrow. Only through such effort could success come. The next day, Tom didn't rush to check traps. Something more urgent awaited. Since winter's start, trapping had faltered. To reverse this, he enlisted his wife's help. Though Nancy lived 30-plus years in Yak Valley, she'd handled logistics at home, never participating in actual trapping. This year differed. The couple had near-zero earnings. To escape this plight, Tom planned 2 distant trap lines. He couldn't manage both simultaneously. Only Nancy joining the hunt could solve this. Tom would set new traps, while the nearer established route fell to Nancy. To equip Nancy, Tom shared his lifelong trapping wisdom. This masterclass was rare and invaluable. Finding animal tracks, setting traps, placing animal traps, adding bait. Each step refined through decades. Beyond marten traps, several weasel traps were set. Weasels fetched only $30 now, but even pennies mattered. Setting traps along the way, they deployed all, then started home. Tomorrow onward, Nancy would manage this route alone. Returning together, they inspected freshly set traps. Halfway, Hound Eli barked at a weasel trap. Indeed, they'd caught a weasel, trapped so quickly after setting. Nature's gift to a beginner. Nancy's first victory. Perhaps Tom's luck turned here. Everyone faces setbacks. Defeating them depends on inner resolve. If setbacks trouble you, confront them bravely. Perhaps overcoming them might not be so difficult. Raw meat, as the old hunter has been having bad luck lately. Not only has he caught little game, but he also lost track of his wife. Today, Tom will join forces with his wife Nancy to check 2 trap lines together, hoping to earn double the rewards. Starting today, Nancy will independently manage the nearby line close to home, while Tom must drive far away to check the 8 traps he set days earlier, seeing if there might be any catch. With his wife settled, Tom departed. Compared to Nancy's route, Tom's destination was much farther and far more challenging. Halfway there, a fallen dead tree blocked his path. The trunk was too thick, and he hadn't brought a chainsaw. An axe couldn't chop it through quickly. The surrounding shrubs were too dense to detour around. His only option was to build a ramp and drive over it. Age had indeed taken its toll. This single tree alone cost Tom over an hour. But if it led to a good haul, it would be worth it. Soon, he reached the first trap. The bait remained intact, the trap untriggered, a standard empty trap. But this was just the beginning. 1 or 2 empty traps were normal. The second set of traps continued the first set's disappointment. Still empty. The third set fared no better. Since the start of this trapping season, disappointment had haunted Tom. Thankfully, he possessed strong resilience, or repeated failures could easily drive a person mad. At each trap site, he reignited the deer hair, using its pungent odor to lure nearby pine martens. After checking all 8 previously set traps, every single one, without exception, was empty. Recent snowfall had erased all earlier pine marten tracks. Tom was disheartened. He didn't know whether to give up or relocate. At times like this, it's best to return home, cool down, and plan the next step. The journey back was rough, and the earlier log delay made him arrive home 2 hours later than planned. Arriving home, the dark house sent his heart racing. Nancy hadn't returned yet. By the original schedule, she should have been home an hour ago. The complex, ever-changing mountain trails and frequent predators posed a massive threat to Nancy, who lacked wilderness experience. A cold, dangerous night would be a severe challenge. Tom wasted no time overthinking. Grabbing a lantern, he set out for her trap line, determined to find his wife. At a fork in the trail, he paused, calling his beloved's name again and again. His voice echoed through the silent, empty mountains, sounding especially desolate. In such moments, the mind often spirals into worst-case scenarios, fueling mounting dread. Days of misfortune, now compounded by a missing wife. Tom seemed to face life's darkest hour. Truly, everyone experiences such low points in life. Setbacks and hardships pile up, suffocating you. All of this is like darkness before dawn. Yet, if you endure this period, you'll discover clear skies and calm waters. Every good thing awaits you ahead. After a long wait, a beam of light approached. Nancy had returned safely. Only then did Tom's heart settle. They embraced warmly, sharing their worries. As it turned out, to boost their potential gains, Nancy had set additional new traps. After checking her line, unfamiliar with the terrain, and unable to gauge the return time, she ran late. Like Tom, Nancy's haul was also 0. The couple returned home to strategize. This couldn't continue. They couldn't truly survive on drinking the northwest wind. For now, Tom did not have a solid solution. He needed time to carefully plan their next move. What do hunters usually do when facing game scarcity? Old hunter Tom from Montana's Buffalo Valley is experiencing unprecedented prey shortage. Roaming outside all day today, he returned empty-handed again. 8 weeks into winter, he has only earned about $40. His brother Jack, aware of his recent struggles, called to check on him. Since Tom was out all day, he only had time to return Jack's call tonight. Jack lives in Idaho, managing his own small farm. He called to share crucial information. Since Montana yielded no catches, Tom should try Idaho. A creek behind Jack's farm teemed with beavers. If Tom came, with his skills, he'd surely catch plenty. Tom, now at his wit's end, desperately needed a breakthrough, so he gladly accepted Jack's invitation. This was actually a tough decision. Over 30 years of trapping, this hunting season marked Tom's first time leaving home to seek livelihood elsewhere. But as the saying goes, moved trees die, moved people thrive. A new hunting ground might reverse Tom's luck. His only worry was his wife Nancy. She'd stay home to monitor their trap line. Reality was harsh. The couple must exhaust all means to earn money, or life would grow harder. Before leaving, Tom did his utmost to prepare necessities for Nancy, readied her gear, and sent her to check traps. Only true desperation would drive Tom to this choice. Yet sometimes, choice matters more than effort. After reluctantly seeing Nancy off, Tom gathered his equipment to target different prey. He packed varied traps and baits, fish oil, castoreum, etc. Among them, a bottle of coyote urine caught my eye. I wondered, how is such a thing collected? Any knowledgeable viewers care to explain? Gear packed, vehicle loaded, Tom embarked on a new journey. This trip posed a major challenge for both him and his wife, but high risk meant high reward. Catching many beavers in Idaho would make the trek worthwhile.